Hi, everybody. My name is Chuck Hansen. I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, right over here on the Atlantic coast. And I'll be your co-host along with my good friend, Michael Stern, who's out in Scottsdale, Arizona. And every Tuesday night, we put together a getting started and really a basic training, if you will. And like I was saying earlier, you know, this is a very, very simple business, but there's a lot of moving parts, right? There's a lot of things, but we put them in kind of a sequential order. And if you just kind of follow along with us and you know, keep track of what we're doing, it's going to be very, very simple. So with that, let me turn it over to the professor. Michael's going to go through some things. We're going to knock out this information. Then we'll open it up for questions and answers. And as you noticed, I put the chat in here. So if you'll take your questions as you're thinking of them and add them to the chat, then we can go right down the chat line and answer those questions in chat order. How about that? We'll try to keep everything organized tonight. And and if you'll keep your questions in line with, you know, what we're talking about. Now, for all of you that have that, you know, question on your mind of when am I going to get my hotspot? You know, let me just say this about that. There's been a global pandemic, right? For the last 16 months, there has been a global shortage of supplies, in particular semiconductors and chips. So that has impacted our ability to manufacture certain products. And so the company is doing all it can in order to do it. And, you know, we're one of the lucky ones. We are shipping products every day, but we're still thousands of orders behind, right? So we are doing everything that we can. There's not a more concerned group of people than the people at iHub that want you to have your hotspot miners, your pigs out there, you know, doing everything that they do. So put your chat your questions into the chat. And with that, Michael, why don't you take it over and we'll get started.
All right. Hey, Chuck, thanks a lot. Let me kind of focus it on here. So again, we're going to cover like truly the basics of some of the things that you really need to know. A lot of this, for some of you, may be things that are obvious, but I find that there are a lot of times people don't necessarily know precisely what to do, when to do it. So let's get over it. I mean, not get over it, let's go over it. And we'll get this into a can so that people can look at the recording and then go back and revisit issues that they need a little bit more homing in on. So the first thing is when you, in order to get started in iHub, you need to actually sign up. You need to register in iHub. You're going to get a free affiliate sign up link from the person that's enrolling you. It's going to look something like that, except for instead of it saying your username, it'll be whatever they've chosen as their username for their particular registration. And when you click on it, it's going to take you to a site that looks like this. Now, hold on a second, I just need to make some room here. I got all these messages popping up all over the place. Okay, so the up at the top, you'll see that the name of the link, in this case, the username was Sam Tester. This is just a test account I set up to train with, but you'll see it up here. At some point in time, it'll probably have the name here to say, hey, you're, you know, welcome Sam Tester, it'll have his name there or something like that. But right now it's up here in the URL, and you go ahead and you click join now. And then after you click join now, it's going to take you to another screen just to tell you a little bit more about signing up as an affiliate with iHub. and it is totally for free. There's no cost, there's no future costs involved in being an affiliate. And then you go ahead and you click sign up now, and it'll take you to a registration screen, which is all pretty straightforward. First name, last name, email address, phone number. The only thing that sometimes people are a little confused about is what it's called subdomain, short website name. This is where you will put the username, which is the same as your short website name. In Sam's case, he put in Sam Tester, and that's what he put in there, and that's what you see here in the link. And so you put in your username. Now, you'll have the ability to change this later on should you decide to do it, make a change. But before you start sending that link out to a whole bunch of people, make sure that if you're going to change it, you change it before you get that out there, because then the other link may not work anymore. Then you put in your country, your password, confirm your password. Pretty straightforward. You want to make sure you click and read the iHub Global Affiliate Agreement. And then after that, you're agreeing to the affiliate terms and conditions, and then you're registering. Pretty straightforward. And then you'll get a little message there that says, click here to view your back office. Now, I recommend doing that just so that you get familiar with the back office. But if you don't have time to do it right then and there, you can go back to it at my.ihub.global. That takes you to the back office login. So again, you either click on your back office or you click on my.ihub.global, and you'll get a screen that looks like this, where you put in your email address that you registered with and your password, and then you click login now. When you do that, it's going to take you to a screen that looks like this. Only this one is for Sally Tester, who just signed up under Sam Tester. And so in the very center of the screen here, where it says free affiliate sign up page, then this is your link that you can use if you want to go ahead and give that out to somebody else. I recommend starting a document with some important things in it so that you can access it on demand very easily, you know, in case you're not able to jump online or that sort of thing. And you can just see that information. But that's it. That's what you're going to send to somebody else to enroll them as well into iHub Global. Then the next thing is you want to go ahead and reserve your hotspot. Actually, there's no ordering quite yet. This is an older slide. We're waiting for the formation of the next purchase order, but in the meantime, you can go ahead and reserve a hotspot. And what I'd like to do is, if I can do this, I am going to take you. Let me reshare my screen so that we can actually see what that looks like. Okay, so here you are. Again, this one is for Sam Tester, but it says reserve a hotspot. So you click on that, and it will bring up the ability for you to fill this out. Now, this is not placing an order. It's putting you on the record that you want to place an order. And what you're going to do is you're going to put in your name and your email address and phone number, and then you're going to put in the shipping address and the installation address. Now, if you are not in the US or Canada, it's still going to ask you for this state province. This was originally put together for Canada, but this is really the same page you're going to use for all countries. Anywhere in the world, people will be able to select whatever country they want. But if in order to get this to go through, just go ahead and do the drop down and just pick the first one, Alabama. It doesn't really matter what you pick. If you're in the US or Canada, obviously pick the correct one. But otherwise, anything you pick will allow it to work. Then you want to do these, answer these questions, and reserve a hotspot. Now, it's important to have the installation address, and that's going to be the location where that unit is going to reside. Whether you ship it to another address, this is where it's actually going to get hooked up. And you have to do this for each individual unit. There's no limit on how many of these you do. You have to do one at a time. There's no fee for doing this. But the idea is that by doing this, it's going to put you in line as the new purchase order comes out to be able to actually place orders against the units in that purchase order within the sequence of the people that reserve this. Okay, so it's important to do this, and it gives you a chance to really go out, do the work of finding what the installation address is going to be. If it's just for yourself, that's easy. It's the same as the ship to address, right? But if it's going to be more than one unit, you need more than one installation address. So once you do that, then this next step here is to provision your orders. What does provision your orders mean? In the system, that allows you to, in an actual order, if you're just reserving it, you won't get to provisioning it until your reservation turns into a live order. Once it turns into a live order, you're going to go and provision that order. And if you've previously placed an order, it would be one of two different types of orders. One, if it was before February 28th, and if it was in the United States and Canada, if you place that order, it would be within the CalChip order processing system, which is not currently being used. But you'll click on this, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit password reset. Now, you're not resetting your password in your iHub back office. What you're doing is you're actually setting up a login for the CalChip order processing or order provisioning, which is also order programming system. So you're going to put in your email address that you placed that CalChip order with. If you're not certain whether that was the case, go search your email from an order from CalChip Connect, and it'll have your order number. And so you'll know that you and whatever email address they sent that to, you're going to put that email address in there. If you put in an email address, and let me just say whatever it is, test@test.com, which doesn't exist, and you click that, you'll get this message: the information does not match your records. And then you need to think back about what email you actually used when you placed your order. It may not have been one that you intended to. A lot of times people's their browsers or their browsers on the internet may do autofill when you're putting in the information, your credit card information and that sort of thing. And it's possible it filled in an email address that you weren't anticipating that actually was in the system. If that's the case, try the one you think is. If it doesn't work after that, then reach out to support. We do have down here support and tickets, and they'll help you out with that. Now, if you ordered it through iHub, we had our own order processing system. Then instead of CalChip order provisioning, you're going to go to provision my iHub orders. And then in this case, it'll bring you up to a system that will provide information on the orders that are there. Now, there's nothing in the system right now for Sam Tester. So that's why you're not seeing it. But if you did have an order, it would be in there. And then you'll be able to go in and verify the ship to information and the installation information. And if you need to make changes in both of these instances, that's where you're going to make changes if it was different than what you put in originally. Now, after you provision your order, then it'll be ready to go into the shipping queue to be in line as the units are available to fill that order. They will not ship to units that do not have that installation address in there. They'll have to catch it on the next round once you put it in. And then if you have received your hotspot, it's very important that you validate your new hotspot. Now, let me go back to, I'm going to go back to the other one so that I think I have some units in there so you can see what that looks like when you go to validate a hotspot. Give me a second to share my other screen. Oh no, this is Sally Tester. That's not the one I wanted. I'm sorry. Chuck, do you have anything you want to add while I'm finding this thing?
No, buddy. You know, and guys, you know, just kind of take that whole provisioning thing. I know it's a little confusing because we've got different, you know, different ways we were taking orders. So just kind of set that aside because, I mean, what's important right now is to get everybody, you know, signed up as an affiliate. It's free, right? Get them involved, get them started, getting them through the education process, and then getting them to reserve a unit. I mean, that's pretty simple. So do that, and all the rest of it will fall into place. So Michael, I've got to jump over and go do a meeting for Rick at 9:30. So I'm
You're going to leave me on the spot then, huh?
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave Autumn with you, because John's gonna come over there and help me.
All right, 1 second, guys. Let me just make sure I got this. All right, so I see it here. I'm sorry, it just gets a little complicated when you got a lot of screens and you're trying to share it in Zoom. So I think I got the right one here. Let's give this one a try. Oh, that's a PowerPoint. That's not the one. I apologize. Usually I got these all set up, but I kind of went out of sequence here. All right, here we go. All right. So to validate the hotspot, now this is once you've got a unit that's actually been sent out. It's got a hotspot name, and before that unit goes into our commission engine where it starts keeping track of the amount of helium that is being generated and gets put into the appropriate party's back office, we have this validation process. So you click on that. And what's happening in the validation process is it shows you the units that are associated with you personally as the owner of the unit. And to validate it, you click update for the unit. And then it will allow you to make a couple of changes if you need to make a change. Now, the first thing is it's going to allow you to transfer that hotspot to somebody else. Now, when would you do that? There's a couple of instances. Let's say that you've got a few units that you received, and one of them you're setting up with a host, and maybe that host has already bought the unit. Okay, so if that unit is now owned by somebody else, somebody's paid you for it, or you're gifting it to somebody like a family member or whatnot, then you're allowed to transfer that to people that are directly enrolled by you as affiliates. And then you would click that drop-down box and you would pick the appropriate person, and then you would put their name in there. If you're keeping it as the owner, but you are using it for a host, then you would do the same thing. They need to be in the system as an affiliate, at least for now. And then when you click that drop-down box, it will give you your personally enrolled affiliates so that you can not really transfer them, but put them in as a host. Now, what does that mean? It means that as a host, they're going to get 10% of what the unit generates. As the owner, you're going to get 50% of that. Now, if you transfer your unit to somebody else and you approve and click Save Changes, it will no longer be accessible by you because it will now show up into the back office of the person that received the unit. So again, until you do this process, it's just staying there. It doesn't mean if it's an active unit, it's still generating helium tokens. If it's active, those tokens are not being lost, but they're not being allocated to where they're going in the commission engine, because we want to make sure that we got the right host and owner before we start getting that set up. So again, once you have the right information, you click approve, and then you're going to click here and save changes. So that's validate a hotspot. Now, what if you've got a unit that you've received and you need to make an address change? Things happen, somebody moves, somebody that wanted to be a host, for whatever reason, they're not able to be a host. So you can request an address change for the units that are listed as your units. In other words, you're the owner of those units. You can go in, pick the unit, and do a request address change, and then it'll give you the ability for changing that information. Now, it'll populate this. Right now, it's still loading. In a minute, you'll see the hotspot name and the device information and all that. So give it a second. It takes a little bit to do it. You can see it's still spinning up here, but it'll populate that. And then I know it'll populate. It just takes a little bit. It's still spinning. Yeah, yes. But once you do that, then you're gonna. I mean, this has already got information assigned, but you go in and change it. So you can see it's got all the information. It's got the installation address. But if you want to change it, just go ahead in and put in whatever information in there that you want to. And then there's going to be a $25 charge for changing the installation address. You're going to put in your card information and complete the order. And then it will be remotely changed by staff at iHub. And they've been just amazingly quick on doing this. I think they asked for a couple, 3 days to do it, but for the ones that I've been seeing, it's been basically within a day that's being done, or even less than a day. And then you'll get an email acknowledging that you did the order, and then you'll get an email acknowledging that the process has been completed. And then it'll have the new address in it. And it may take a little while before that propagates across the Helium blockchain where you see it in the proper location, but it will move from the original installation address to the new one when you do that. So that's really the key stuff I want to show you in the beginning there. A couple of things that are really valuable has to do with my funnels. Now, if you've been paying attention to Rick's training that he's been doing on Fridays, the Funnel Friday presentations, then you'll recognize that there's some extraordinary funnels that iHub has put together to make available for people that choose to use it. Now, by being a free affiliate, there's a basic funnel system that you get where we use to sign people up. We already looked at that. But if you want to upgrade to the full customized system, it's $99 a year to do that, which is an incredible value. It's normally for the other customers and companies that Rick's company does that for, they charge $199 every 3 months for that, which is in itself a great value. So $99 a year is definitely worth doing if you want to do it. Now, right now, where we are, this is the absolute best time in order to make things happen, to go ahead and start building your affiliate business. Like, for instance, this was the one that we did today. We did a live webinar. People that use this funnel, let's just take a look at what this looks like. If they use this funnel system, then they were able to put this together. There may have been some customization in it, but they're going to be sending this out to people, either people they purposely send it to, or it could be some sort of a marketing or advertising campaign. It will go out. It has the Glad You Asked video, the 3-minute video on that. And then it gives them an opportunity to register for a webinar. First name, last name, phone, and email, reserve a spot. And we're doing 2 live webinars a day. And here's some more information. Again, you can do the same thing, reserve a spot. But we do 2 live webinars for this particular funnel. I believe they're a Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just did one today. So that's a really great way of getting information out, but that's only one of other funnel systems that you have available. Lead magnet is the idea of literally giving somebody some value in order to give them their contact information. And in all of these funnels, when you send them out, it will create leads in your back office that you'll be able to respond to. Here's the lead magnet leads, here's the host funnel leads, and there'll be other leads as well, but I haven't been using them yet. So it's a great idea to do this. We got the professional funnel coming out soon. Most of you have seen Dr. Scott Tunis's video that's part of that funnel. But there's a lot of great things in this piece. So I encourage you to take a serious look at it. You can look at your team back here. We call this the marketing, the sales and marketing back office. When you're logging into my.ihub.global, when you click on your team here, you're only going to see people that you directly enrolled. To see the whole team, in other words, more of what you're considering, what you might be used to looking at as a genealogy, that will be over in the commission and genealogy back office, and I'll show you that. Tools and training, there's a lot of great stuff in here, information on antennas. For instance, a lot of people are asking about that. We're going to continually update this with more information that's in here. Training videos, there's really good training videos back in here. When you go here, and you scroll down, you'll see various videos that populate here. My computer's really acting slow, I think is what's going on here. Compensation training, how to use helium.place, how to set up your Helium wallet. I'm going to go over this, but the very same information that's in this video is what I'm going to be showing you. So that if you haven't set up your Helium wallet, I encourage you, go ahead and click on this video. It'll walk you straight through it in case I don't get to the Helium wallet, and exactly how to set it up and where to copy it, how to copy and paste your received wallet address into your iHub back office. So a lot of great stuff's back here, as well as a link to the iHub video channel, where you can access all the Vimeo videos that iHub generates on a weekly basis, like this presentation and other presentations. Here's where you'll find them to access them. So a lot of great stuff here. Let's see. We do have a Facebook page, although we haven't been really great at moderating that. We got some volunteers that are coming in to work with our private Facebook group. So stay tuned on that. That'll be a really good thing to do. And then profile is where you're going to want to make changes. There's certain things that you can change here. In this part of the profile, you can change your name, your email address, and your phone number. To edit your HNT wallet, that's over in the other, the commission back office. It'll tell you that. Changing your password, I think you can do here, or maybe that's over there as well. Now you can change it here as well. And then there's the support tickets. I got some other things here that, because I'm an admin, that you won't have. And then there's support tickets. If you want to put in a support ticket, you want to do this through the support system. It is far, far better than doing it through an email, because it leads an audit trail. And it also takes you initially to kind of our knowledge base, so that you can look at various different questions that are already here, FAQs that we're putting together. You may find the answer to your question before you even need to do a formal support ticket. But you can see here on the lower right, in this case, it says we're online. So that means we got some support people literally on right now that can respond to you. If they're not, it'll still allow you to put a support ticket, and it'll say that it will be responded to, typically within 24 hours or so. So that's the support side of things. That's really coming together, and I'm very, very excited about the folks that have been handling that. They've been doing a great job. And that's pretty much everything on this platform. And then to get over to the commission and genealogy platform, you click this green box here, and it's going to take you to that platform. Now, I can't use it the same way this is because I'm an admin. So let me go ahead and stop sharing for a second and go back to my test account that I can show you this, if I can find it again. Okay, and so we'll go ahead and click to get over to the commissioning engine. And when you do this, it's going to bring up a kind of a transition page to take you over there. It's going to give you a temporary password that you want to copy and paste into the system. It's automatically going to propagate the username. And then once you do that and click login, it's going to take you over to the commissioning engine, and also the genealogy engine. And there's some really great stuff here. Now, one thing is if you want to create a permanent password rather than that temporary password, you're going to click this upper right icon where you can change the password. And then when you do that, if you try and do this again from this back office, this temporary password's not going to change. It's still going to be the old password. You'll have to use the new password rather than the temporary one if you've changed it on the back office. So you can change the password. You can do some things in the profile if you want to. Profile settings, information that's in here that you didn't enter in the normal registration process to be able to do this. Now, let's just go back to home. I'll show you some more things that are here. The commissioning information is pertinent for once you've got units on your team that are actually lit up on the Helium blockchain, and you'll be able to monitor what's going on, as well as monitor the information that's being generated for different commission runs. I mean, this is really extraordinary in that every iHub hotspot that gets put onto the Helium blockchain shows up into the back office, and we'll be able to track that in real time. Well, actually, it's not real time. We take a snapshot of all the data every 5 minutes in doing that. So it's very up-to-date information that's in there. This place where it says my e-wallet, when you go through the setting up your wallet, this is where you're going to go, and you're going to paste in your Helium wallet address, your receive address. You're going to want to make sure you check these boxes, check this. I'll say it, this is an important thing. When you're transferring this complex address and you're copying it and pasting it from the other location, you're going to want to make sure that you pay attention to the first 3 characters. In this case, 13 capital N, and the last 3 characters, 5 lowercase h and lowercase m. Because when you copy and paste, if you see the first 3 are right and the last 3 are right, it means that all the ones in the middle are right. And you want to make sure that you check that for sure. And then you confirm that you've checked it. Because if you put in the wrong address here, or if you leave out a character like from the beginning or the end, and we go to send you your Helium, it's just going to end up in like the black hole of cyberspace, and it's probably lost. So it's very important to make sure you get this right. Then you check those, you save the changes, and that's how you set up your wallet. When you go into genealogy, you've got various different views that you can do. You can look at your personally enrolled, view by team, view by level. But the one that most people are familiar with is this genealogy view that shows, in this case here, Sam. You can see he's enrolled 3 people, and there's 1 person that enrolled under John there. So this gives you the information, tells you how much each person is personally enrolled, how many members are on their team. And so it's really a good information. And then under resources, you've got your earning history. You got this extraordinary calculator that's kind of fun that you can play with to sort of get an idea about, if you do certain things, what to anticipate that it will be actually earned as a result of doing it. You see information on your teams as you start filling in your pro team, bronze team, silver team, to know who's on what team. And very important here, under my personal site, if you're going to want to change your username, as I mentioned earlier, like right now, I got the username and it's also the website URL as Sam Tester. If I wanted to change it, I would change it here, and then it'll also update it back into the marketing engine as well, the marketing back office. Once we get the rest of the replicated site running, then you'll be able to determine what name you want to display on your site. Maybe it's not your name, maybe it's a company name, maybe it's other kind of a name you want to use to represent what you're doing. An email address and a phone number, you have total control over that. And then last but not least, if you've got hotspots assigned to you, then you'll be able to see them here. And it'll give you the device owner, which would be you. You got the name, the location, you've got the ability of changing the owner and the host that's here in this location. After it's been validated, this is where you would go to make another change in the owner or the host of a hotspot that's already been validated into the system. So I think that's pretty much what we wanted to go over in this training. What I left out is setting up your Helium wallet, but I showed you where you can watch that 6-minute video that really walks you through it, literally step by step, to be able to do that, because I think probably people at this juncture would appreciate maybe getting some questions answered. So let's see here. How do I get to do that? Just look at participants, and in the chat, what do we have in the chat? There's not much in the chat or anything in the chat. So we got some folks with their hands up. Darla, you're there. you're muted. If you can unmute yourself, then you can ask a question, and then I can help answer your question and maybe use some share screens if we need to. So Darla, you're the first in line, and William, you're next. Whoever unmutes first will be the one that can ask the question first. Kendry, you're after that. Hopefully you guys are able to hear me okay. Yeah, I think so. Ann Rogers, you're next. Selby, you're next. All of you have your hand up. Maybe it was a hand up for a question that Chuck asked. If that's not the case, then let me go ahead and lower everybody so that you can put your hand up if you got an additional question to ask. So everybody's putting their hand up again, I guess, unless this is, okay, Kendry, you can't hear me? No? That's interesting. Testing.
Okay, we couldn't unmute ourselves. That's why.
Oh, you couldn't unmute yourself. Oh,
yes.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, because usually with Zoom, I can't unmute. You have to unmute yourself. So maybe there was some
permission, I guess. So awesome training, Mike, as always. Great job. Awesome job going through the back office. I learned a lot today as well. I have a quick question. Is there a way that we can see if our teammates, affiliates, or whatnot have placed a pre-order or order?
So for sure, shortly, I know that John's working on it. You'll be able to see what the affiliates on your team have ordered. That's a process that is being in place. We had a discussion about that on our staff meeting today. That's something that's in process for doing. And I think from there, it'd be easy to show the people that reserved a unit as well, probably the second phase of doing that. Okay. All right. Rai, you're next. And
Michael, I can help unmute people.
Okay, I can ask to unmute, but
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm not.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. How to change your sponsor, because what appears here in my dashboard is a name which I have not recognized, and the one who sponsored me, his name is not in there.
Well, that happens at times. Sometimes people click on the same link that their enroller sent them instead of the one from the enroller. The best thing to do is to do a support ticket, and they'll probably require some kind of an email for an audit trail to have permission to make that change. So you'll be interacting with Autumn or some of the other customer support folks.
Okay, thank you. And then there's another one. I placed an order in Caltech, but it was not under iHub Global. What will I do?
Okay, so you placed an order with CalChip directly instead of
Yeah,
it being
I think,
iHub order. So that is something that you can also correct, but there is a $50 provisioning fee that would have already been included if you had ordered it the iHub unit anyway. We have to pay the provisioning fee, which is the programming of the unit that they do before they ship it out. They don't do that on their other units. And so do the same thing, put in a support ticket, and they will give you the details on the email that you need to send out, the address. And you're definitely not the first person that's done that. And what they'll do is they'll convert the order to the iHub order. They'll send you an invoice for the $50 difference and then make that conversion.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Selby, if you can get unmuted, August. Autumn, if you can help out on that. Didn't mean to call you August.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good evening. Thank you for the presentation. Are we currently marketing this globally?
Well, we are setting this affiliate program up globally. So anybody anywhere in the world can join as a free iHub affiliate. They're not going to be able to order units in their own location unless they're in the US, Canada, the UK, Europe, or Australia. but they could certainly reserve units in their location. And we really welcome that, because as we put together a list of people in a country that isn't currently being served for ordering yet, and having a list of, say, 1,000 people that have installation addresses, then it helps to make the decision on which country to be the next country to open up once we get more of the inventory and control to be able to do that. So we recommend anybody anywhere in the world joining as an affiliate and then reserving a unit, but they can also refer people as affiliates anywhere else in the world and in the places where people can get units, and they'll start earning helium tokens once those units are delivered and put online into the blockchain, which is really wonderful. So we got a program where people can earn significant income through receiving helium tokens without having to pay to become an affiliate, without even being in a place where they can even order a unit, or even if they are in a place where they can order a unit, it's totally optional to order a unit and receive all the benefits of the affiliate program.
Okay, thank you. One more question. Do you have an estimation of the backlog, the time frame?
Well, I believe we're looking at somewhere around 3 to 4 months on a reserve unit coming in today. Okay, and I see you're putting something up, but I'm having a hard time seeing that. It says muted. Are you saying that I'm muted or you're muted? You're muted. Okay, so let's before we go to Ann, let's do Steve first. And I'm sorry, did we finish answering that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. Okay, Steve, you're up.
Yeah, how you doing, Michael?
Good.
Yeah, I just had a question about the 50%. So if mine's generating 90 tokens a month, I'm only getting like 50% of that, or how does that
That's
work?
right. That's right. If let's say that your unit that you've got generates 90 tokens, and that's what you're seeing on the blockchain, that's what you're seeing on Explorer, that means that you'll receive 45 of those 90 tokens. The person that referred you is going to get 9 tokens. They're going to get 10%. There's another 20% that gets paid out based on various different aspects of our affiliate model. And then the final 18 or 20% goes to iHub, its investors and partners, to make this whole thing possible.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Okay, Ann.
I can talk. I didn't know if you knew. It kept saying the host has us.
No, I've never seen this before. People have always been able to unmute themselves, but it must be a new setting that's going on here. So.
And also the chat was disabled, just so you knew.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. Just a really quick question is, if someone has an order and they have their address in the system waiting for their hub to be delivered that they ordered, and yet they're hosting another hub, what happens?
Okay, let me get my head around that again. Could you repeat it?
Okay, if someone ordered a hub, but their upline is letting them host their hub,
Yeah.
right? What happens when the person who's doing the hosting, when their actual original hub, their order arrives?
Well, in a situation like that, if you're already hosting a unit and it's in your place and it's generating helium, then what I would recommend in that situation, I mean, you could just give it back to the person, but then you got to get it set up again and start syncing and all that. I would have the person whose unit that you have, essentially transfer the unit to you. Right. You transfer your unit to them, and now you're getting the 50% and they're getting 10%. Instead of you getting the 10% and 50% on the unit that you currently have. So that's my recommendation. But
you just when it arrives, you ship it over to them and switch ownership.
Yeah, you can have a conversation with them to see what they prefer and how it's done. If that's the case, they may even want to go in and have your unit provisioned for a different address before it even gets shipped out. I mean, they may want to transfer the ownership of that even before it gets shipped, so it doesn't.
You went mute.
Yeah, I do.
There you are. You're back.
Okay, yeah, I guess it says my internet connection's unstable. Sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about that. Let's just keep on going. Do you have any other questions, Ann?
No, no, that's fine.
Okay, great. And then Michael, you're next. Autumn, if you could unmute
Yep.
Mike.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
So question about security. So originally when I got the miner online, I saw that I was relayed. So I went ahead and did the port forwarding. And a lot of the providers that I have around town where I live, we all use a company called Cox. And I guess they have a security mechanism where they can block, I guess, malicious IP addresses. So since my miner's been on, I've probably had about 10 malicious IP addresses that were blocked. Does that block the communication of, I guess, those miners that are trying to communicate with mine, or how does that work?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm on Cox here, but I've got my own router. So I went into my router and I opened up that port. I mean, you only want to open up that port forwarding just for the miner. You don't want to open it up for other devices on the system. Maybe they did it wrong. I mean,
So
I've never gotten anything like that.
So I guess it's like the new pan-around Wi-Fi. You can actually go in and click helium and make that port forward strictly for helium. So I can like look at all my devices, and then it says like the only IP threats came in strictly through helium. So it said it blocked it. So I mean, I don't have like any type of like, hacking or anything like that. I just didn't know if those IP addresses, some are from Russia, United Kingdom, they're all probably from all different miners across the world. I just didn't know if that's going to affect me communicating with, I guess, addresses, maybe if they were linked to something malicious and they don't even know it.
Yeah, I think a conversation with Josiah is probably the best bet. He's technical support on your main page in your my.ihub.global. If you scroll down past the registration for the webinars, you'll see a link to get on his calendar to help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
That's a little bit beyond me on.
No, that's okay. I didn't know if I should have.
Never heard of anybody having that issue before.
Yeah, I know he deals with the relaying, so I'll reach out to him and get with him on that. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. So Maisie, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
Okay, no, hi, Rich. No, you got it right. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, very good. So I'm pretty confused in terms of, where our orders are at. We placed two orders, actually, one through CalChip and one through iHub, the VIP. Mm-hmm. And we're still waiting we haven't received any of our units.
Well, when you say VIP, you mean it was a VIP order, or you're?
Yes, yes, both of those were VIP orders. So when I look back,
you mean you did it as part of a large VIP order that one of the other affiliates put together?
Yes, yes, it was the iHub VIP.
Yeah. So check in with the person who actually placed the VIP. All the VIPs have been essentially receiving orders. Most of them. There's the first 6 went out a week ago, and the next 6 are supposed to be going out this week for every 50 units that they ordered.
Okay, so well, my question is, I haven't received anything, and so when I go back in the back office, how do I know that they've already been sent? Because I have some of these, I already have addresses on them.
So what you want to do is you want to go to your provisioning back office, okay, and go to the one for iHub. Well, for the one for CalChip, go to the CalChip provisioning back office and put in your order number, your email address in, and you'll see if the unit is in there. If it's got a name assigned to it, then it probably also has a tracking number assigned to it, and you can check on that and see what's going on. And the same is true for the iHub back office. You go in there and you'll see, put in your email address or your I think it's the email address or the order number, and you'll be able to pull it up and then see what the status of that is as well.
Okay, because I don't see where I would put in my email address at all. I have a list of all the ones that I've assigned addresses to, but I don't see anywhere where I can input in my address or
Well, you
my
know,
email address.
it may not have been transferred to you yet. If you're part of a larger group, then they may not have transferred it to you. Maybe it hasn't been shipped yet. I would check in with the person whose group that you're part of, and then also reach out with the support ticket, and we'll get it sorted for you.
Okay, so for the support, do I address it to John or do I address it to?
Just create a support ticket, and
Okay.
John or Autumn will help out and figure out who needs to be focused on helping you.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And then Janet, you can get unmuted.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
My question is, can I change my installation address before my box shipped to me?
Yes, most definitely. Go back there into the provisioning back office, the appropriate one, and go ahead and change it. Now, if you go back there and you see that it's already been assigned a unit name and there's a tracking number, then it's already in process and you can't change it at that point.
Okay, but if that's not there, then I can change.
That's correct.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Okay, Kirk.
Okay, got it muted. Sorry about that. I have two questions. One of the people I brought into the company, one of his units was online for a couple of weeks and it was up to 30 helium. And then yesterday it went offline and the helium has been slowly going down and now it's down to like 21 helium. What would cause that, or how does that mean anything until we get it back?
Well, as far as going on, if it went offline, that's probably a function of the internet connection. But in the Discord channel, the Helium has been announcing that they've been having issues that I think have been pretty much corrected. But for the last week, there's been issues with units showing up offline that weren't online. A lot of lag time between witnessing and before the helium showed up on that. I think a lot of that is being corrected right now. But it's also possible that the amount that you're earning in a location can go down as more and more people are witnessing the same transaction. If there's a transaction that is being witnessed and you're the only witness, then you'll get all of the helium allocated for that particular transaction. But if you got 15 other people that are witnessing the transaction, then that amount is split amongst the 15 people. So the more witnesses of a particular transaction, that can decrease the amount of helium that is being generated for a similar activity.
Do you know how far back that goes, or in time period or not?
How far back what goes?
On the multiple units that would split up the transaction, because again, he was up to 30 and now he's down to 21.
I would go look at your activity level. Okay,
right.
You can go back to all the way back on the activity level and compare the activity level and the amount of helium that was being generated for similar activity at any point versus what it is now, and then you can analyze it and see what's going on.
Okay, and then the second question was in regards to my order. I maybe misunderstood. I haven't made every call. I've tried to make everyone, but I thought that the VIP orders were going to start shipping after all the other orders were caught up, because I'm waiting on 12 units from March that I haven't.
Well, the VIP orders are off of a completely different purchase order than the CalChip orders.
No, I understand that, but I thought it was said that one of the calls that they were going to ship, catch up all the oldest orders first before they would start shipping those. So that's not, you're just shipping VIPs right now.
Well, we're shipping both.
Okay.
But as far as I know, I mean, there's only a certain portion of the VIP orders that are shipping, because that's what was promised.
Gotcha.
Like for instance, 6 orders, out of 50 that were ordered, 6 were promised to be shipped for May, for instance. So that's what was shipped out of that.
Gotcha.
So yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Hey, does nobody else have a question? That's amazing. I can't believe that we've gotten all the questions answered before the top of the hour. Okay, Paul, go ahead. If you could unmute Paul. Hey, Paul.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, good stuff. Quick question for you. What is the maximum, assuming you're gold and you know, you've got quite a bit, what's the maximum percentage you can possibly get of tokens?
What percentage you can get on what?
Maximum percentage of tokens, because it starts out at 50%, let's say, but then as you start gaining you know, levels of.
Well, let's look at it a different way. Let's say that when you're brand new, you place an order as you know, a brand new affiliate. You know, you're just in the beginning of enrolling other affiliates. You're going to be getting 50%. Okay, and then let's say you're building your bronze team. You put in your pro team. Now you're building in your bronze team, and you place a new order. So on that order, you'll get the 50% plus the 5% bronze code. And then let's say you place another order as a silver. You know, you're building your silver team. You order another unit, and that unit you'll get the silver. You'll get the 50% plus the bronze 5% plus the silver 5%. So now you're at 60% on that. And then let's say you're a gold and you place another order as a gold, and you're and then on that unit you'll get the 50% plus the 5% code. So you're at 65%. That's the maximum you're going to be able to get on your own personal unit. I mean, if that's a unit you own and maybe you got it out there as a host with a host somewhere.
Got it. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. All right, and iPad, you got your hand up, whoever iPad is. iPad, you're unmuted.
Hello, Michael, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, great. Oh man, thank you so much for hosting this. I was just invited. This is my third Zoom with you guys. You probably have answered this question before, but how many hotspots can you reserve?
You can reserve as many as you want to, as long as there's a separate installation address for each one.
Got it. So it's just one per, when you say installation, is that one per home?
One unit per reservation, and the installation and 1 unit per installation address. So, you know, you can't put more than 1 unit at one address. There needs to be at least 300 meters or about 1,000 feet separation between units.
Okay, got it. And so just to be clear, do you purchase when you make the reservation this hotspot, or is just
no, you're just literally making a reservation for it. There's no funds required at this juncture for doing that.
Okay. And now if I wanted to purchase, let's say, a cluster of them, is that possible where I have 10 of those units in my home if I purchase them on my own?
Well, again, you can't put more than 1 unit in your home. Okay, it's not like a Bitcoin miner where you can have a room full of them. So this is proof of coverage. So the idea is to add geographical coverage to the worldwide proof of coverage, which is what Helium is creating for these IoT devices.
Outstanding. Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. So Ray Causing, if you could get unmuted. We'll take 1 or 2 here before we finish off.
Okay. Yeah, I placed an order of about 12 hot peg, 12. Now here on the provisioning where I have to put the installation address, it says here status 2. So how could I change it into 1? Because I have to put the installation service, the installation, to another address.
Yeah, that's not something that you would do. So The two is normal shipping. That's what the two means.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's like if a 5 would be putting it on hold, like the installation address isn't there or it's not ready. But 2 is the default.
So what will I do on the installation? I have to put only one address at a time and then click
So
add.
let's say that you had put an order in for 12 units. Is that what you said that you had done?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you go to the provisioning back office,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have 12 separate line items there, one for each unit that you can adjust the shipping and the installation address on.
6. I have 6 here. And each one has 2.
You mean the number 2?
Yeah.
That's not a quantity. That's just a shipping priority.
Oh, so when I click view details, I have to write here the name, the shipping name, and the host name.
Yeah, the name that you're shipping it to, the address that you're shipping it to, then the name of the installation if it's different, and the address of the installation, and we need the phone number and the email address for the person that is receiving the shipment.
Okay, but it is understood that I am the owner of this unit.
Yes, I mean that's why you got them in your provisioning back office. It's as you as the owner.
Okay. Because I thought it might get lost and I won't get the credit. Yeah.
No, that's okay. Yeah, if you have any more clarifications you want, go ahead and reach out to support.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Actually, I'm here on the provisioning, so I could write it one by one. Okay, thank you, sir.
Oh, you're very welcome. Okay, so I've got us after the back of the hour. We got 2 left. So we'll just do these last 2. Laura, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Quick question about the shipping. And so are you guys shipping to individual individual addresses anymore? Or are we supposed to change them in our provision, or what?
So we had a very interesting revelation, and that was that initially CalChip was shipping each line item. Like if you ordered 5 units, it was going out 5 individual orders, and people would only pay 1 shipping charge. And then we discovered that we were responsible for the other 4, which wasn't the intent. We thought, wow, CalChip is being so nice about this. But no, so we want all the units to be shipped to one address, even if they're different installation addresses, so that because otherwise we'll have to charge a shipping for all the ones that are previously done. We're gonna cover all that, but we want to limit that shipping liability moving forward. Okay, did I answer your question, or are you still confused? Okay, it's muted again. Okay, so let's go to Kevin. You're unmuted.
Yes, good evening. When we're trying to reserve units for countries that you guys aren't in yet, do we like have the shipping address like based in the US and just the installation addresses?
No, you can put the address there. It's just that the way that page was originally set up, there's a required field that's for the state and province, which may be totally meaningless to where you are. Just pick Alabama, the first one that comes up there, and then you'll be able to put in the right information in your installation address. When you actually have the order live, it'll go into provisioning where you'll be able to make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be.
Okay, then. All right, then. And then like you probably don't know off the top of your head, but like how many addresses or how many reservations would it take in order for you guys to start considering another region?
Well, it's not so much us that's doing the consideration, it's our partner CalChip.
Okay.
But we want to give them overwhelming interest in an area to incentivize them to move it up versus an area that they may have uncertain engagement in the country already.
Okay, so big time. We're not talking hundreds, we're talking thousands then.
Yeah, we'd like to get at least 1,000.
Okay. All right then.
And I think that's a reasonable number. I think that's enough to impress.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Hey, we're already 4 after. Well, go ahead, Linda. We'll take these last two and let that, this will be it. We got Linda and we got Maureen, and that'll be it.
Okay, it'll be really brief. A question. I ordered mine. I mean, I registered mine yesterday, and I used the address where I live now, but I
Yes.
might be at a different address by the time I get my device.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. You'll have plenty of time to correct whatever the shipping and installation address is.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. How about Maureen?
Hi,
Last
good
but not
evening.
least.
Yes, I reserved my box. Are they gonna email us or call us to let us know when to purchase it?
Well, I'm not sure exactly how the comms will be on that. I'm sure you'll get a communication. Most likely it'll start off as an email to give you the, to say, hey, you're ready, you're eligible now to place a formal order. But excuse me, we'll let people know the precise process that's going to take place once we get to that point. So don't worry, you'll hear something. We'll talk about it on the calls, and there'll also be email communications at the least.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. Hey, it's great seeing so many people that are, looking at the Getting Started training, whether they're doing it for the first time themselves or whether they're learning this so they can start teaching this kind of information to your own team. Eventually, we're here to teach others how to teach others. So bear in mind that the more that you can assimilate this information, then the quicker you'll be able to get somebody in a situation where they're moving along and feeling comfortable with the program. So with that, I want to thank everybody, and we've got our training coming up on Thursday, same time, same station. I'm not sure what the content will be. I'm sure it'll be great. Autumn, thank you for your great help tonight. And as always, Autumn is in the backdrop, helping everybody with all these amazing support tickets and everything. So a big hand for Autumn. And thanks everybody. And I guess at this point, we'll stop the recording and we'll go ahead.